On an unusually warm December morning in 2018, a sleepy little village in the heart of Nova Scotia woke up to something beyond sinister.
I heard a pop, like a pop, 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 just like that, yeah.
Was someone in trouble?
Oh yeah, big trouble. Yeah, I seen some weird stuff in my life, but I never done seen nothing like that.
Call came in at around 4 a.m. I was first on scene. As soon as I got there, I saw the deceased, which was confirmed to be Mitch Delacroix.
Mitch Delacroix. Loyal friend, loving husband, all around great guy. Who would want to kill him and why? On this episode of The Maricrimes. Christmas at the cottage, a tradition for many Nova Scotians who, during those cold December mornings, find themselves cozied up by the fire among friends and family. For many years, that was the life of Mitch Delacroix. Summer vacations with school friends popping in on the weekends, and a few wintry days with tinsel and eggnog. The Delacroix Lake Cottage was a refuge, a sanctuary. Time went on. Over the years, Mitch found himself thinking fondly about the cottage, and he decided to move there full-time. Slowly, he became part of the lakeside community, which brought him a special kind of joy. Neighbors Beau and Patty Waldoon.
Mitch was a good friend of mine. He was a good man, decent man. Yeah.
He sounds like a great guy.
Oh, it was good. It was great.
Mitch was a great guy. Everybody loved him. He had a heart of gold. And he was so funny. He was always quick with a joke, and he loved to laugh, and he was always the life of the party.
Yeah.
What were some of the things you liked to do with him?
Drink beer.
He liked a cold one, did he?
Yeah. He liked, he really liked local beer, but I mean, he wasn't like a snob about it or anything. As long as it was cold, I think he liked it, but yeah, we had a few of us, we'd get together, and he just liked being with good friends and, having a laugh. Yeah.
Did he grow up in the area?
No, he was from Cole Harbor, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cole Harbor, home to hockey legends, ocean inlets, trails, lakes, and the high school where, as a teenager, Mitch met Dawn, who would eventually become his wife.
Every once in a while, he'd go to Moncton because he had family up there. But yeah, this was home.
Oh, he did take his first plane ride just a few years before, before he passed.
Yeah, he went to Toronto, and he saw the Blue Jays. He said he had the time of his life. He saw the CN Tower. Oh, he talked about that trip for weeks, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your relationship with them like before the incident?
At first, we were really happy that Dawn lived next door to us. I mean, I'd known her forever. Mitch would come over and Dawn and we'd play cribbage and sometimes Dawn and I would go into the city on shopping trips, for Christmas or whatever. But sometimes, we never really got close. We were just good neighbors.
What then makes a good neighbor? Good manners? Good intentions? Good fences? Folks who move this far away from urban centers are seeking peace and tranquility, solitude. Neighbor Rusty Porter considers this way of life crucial to his well-being. A tall order if that peaceful life can be so suddenly shattered.
I've been out here nearly 30 years. It's quiet. I like it. I know how to track prints and listen for game and wildlife, and you got to be one with nature. You know, I'm part of it. Nature, you see, I'm part of it. I understand the way animals think. You know, I know their movements. You know, there ain't nothing out there gonna scare me. Nothing.
Do you like hunting?
Yeah, I've been hunting. I've been hunting nearly all my life. Hare, pheasant, deer, mostly. Fish, of course. It's about all I need.
Did Mitch Delacroix ever go hunting with you?
Yeah, a couple times. He used to want to go hunting with me, but he never had no knack for hunting. You know, Mitch was a city boy, like.
Did he know how to use a gun?
Oh yeah. You got to living out here. You know, safety reasons.
What do you mean safety reasons?
Big cats, bear, who knows what not. You never know what's out there. You know, you gotta be careful out there. I've seen a lot.
By all accounts, life in the country should be slow-paced and pleasant, without the drama of busy city life. But what unfolds behind closed doors is a whole other story.
Mitch got quieter. He was always the life of the party. And he had this energy about him. He was so happy. But after a while, being with Dawn, it was like that spark inside him. It just disappeared.
What do you think caused him to change?
I don't think he was happy in the relationship. I think he felt smothered. I think she liked to keep a tight rein on him.
He wasn't allowed to hang out with the guys anymore because Dawn was the star. And so she wanted to be the star in his life.
You know, we had a regular crew of guys and we used to play poker every Saturday for years. I don't think Mitch missed a game. He loved it, and then he started calling up with these excuses. This or that. It was always something, and he loved her, but it was kind of a toxic relationship. Like, she just kind of wanted to control him too much. Like, but he was in too deep. He just, I kind of lost my friend twice, really, because first then and then later. Yeah.
Like it or not, there was certainly trouble in paradise. Lovers at odds in the middle of the woods. Not a great combination. Mitch with his happy-go-lucky spirit, and Dawn, larger than life, boisterous and overbearing. But was this personality mismatch enough to shake the foundation of their relationship so much as to warrant violence?
She wanted it to be all about her, and if it wasn't, well, she could become unpleasant.
What would happen?
If Dawn was angry, she could get like real angry. Like, I mean, charged. Like, you could feel it. You could see it. And the whole energy in the room would change. It's just...
It could be very unpleasant.
It was almost like she had two personalities. And so when she got angry, when she was upset, and something happened and she didn't like it, well, you could tell. She was just like a different person when she was mad.
Yes, it was clear to his friends that Mitch had changed. He was acting strange, different from his usual self. And then strange changes began happening all over, in the woods, in front yards, and even in backyards.
Well, there was this one time. There was this one time that I was out tracking deer, and I could sense like someone was tracking me. Deer might do something like that, but this weren't no deer.
How could you tell?
Yeah, I could hear it. I could hear it. It weren't walking on four legs. He was walking on two. I heard it step on a branch. I stopped directed my tracks and turned around real quick like and pointed a gun in its direction. I could see something peering through the woods right at me. Right at me. It was big. It was huge. And I looked at it and it looked at me and then it turned around and scampered away and disappeared. I never did go after it, and I never did see it again. Never did see it again.
It turns out what scared Rusty in the woods that day wasn't the only unexplainable thing happening around the same time. Bo and Patty Waldoon's hobby farm also saw unusual events. Things that can only be described as shocking.
Started with the ducks. Got up one morning and went out, and 3 of them were dead. Just like ripped clean apart. The feathers all over the yard. It was, I mean, I figured it might have been a fox that got them. But.
And then after that, it was the chickens. And then several weeks after that, it was the rabbits. And then the sheep. What would go after a sheep?
Yeah.
What did you say that it was?
Oh, well, we figured maybe it was a...
It was one of those...
bobcat.
Bobcat, yeah. But we always keep the sheep and the goats locked in the barn at night, and they're in their little pens. So you show me a bobcat that can unlock a door.
Yeah.
Was there anyone in the community who would have wanted to hurt your animals?
No, nobody in this community. I mean, this is a good area, good people. So.
Yeah.
Month after month, the Waldoons kept losing animals to something or someone unknown. Summer passed, and then autumn, and then the chilly winter air blew through, and still no explanation. Then one day, Don Delacroix told Patty a bit of curious information that was hard to ignore.
Dawn told me that she noticed that Mitch was sneaking out at night. It just once a month or so. And she got it in her head that he was cheating on her. But Mitch wasn't that kind of guy.
No, he'd never cheat.
But she said that one time, in the morning, she noticed after he had been out at night, there was blood and dirt in the sink, and she found his clothes. She said they were ripped up and crumpled, hidden in the bottom of the garbage. And she started tracking when he was going out at night. And she said that it was always during a full moon.
Oh, and those were the same exact nights that our animals were getting killed and maimed.
When we return, a full moon. Could Dawn's theory shed some light on what was really going on?
It was a full moon, Mitch was out, and then this giant animal was lurking on the porch.
When the Maricrimes continues.
Introducing Radiant Guard Pro, the ultimate in exterior floodlights. Equipped with advanced Brillo Flex technology, Radiant Guard Pro ensures your property is well lit, deterring potential intruders and providing a sense of security for your family. Radiant Guard Pro, lighting the way to a safer home.
And now we return to the Maricrimes.
Take me back to that December morning.
Well, it was late. Well, it was so late, it was early. I was sound asleep. About 3 a.m., I was startled awake by scratching at the door. I was terrified. And then the scratching turned to banging.
What did you do?
I grabbed the rifle right there, and I leaned out to see what was on the porch.
What did you see?
A giant, looming figure in the doorway. It was huge. It was like a big, hairy animal.
Could you see it clearly?
It was hunched over and kind of reaching out with these big, hairy arms. Like this.
Woken in the night by someone or something at the door. In such a scary situation, wouldn't you call for help?
My instinct was to grab the gun. I mean, I know how to use it. You have to when you live in the country. There's bears. And the police. They're... Well, it would have taken too long. I mean, they're 40 kilometers away. By the time they got here, it would have been too late.
It's true. 40 kilometers on rural gravel roads is quite a distance for an emergency call. A call that would give now retired Detective Sage Dahlhaus, a 30-year veteran of the Hants County Police Force, much to uncover.
Dawn Delacroix claims to have been in the bedroom right here. And she heard a noise. She came out of the bedroom, grabbed the rifle, which was right here, and then she went straight down towards the door. She said she saw a figure right around here. She went out to around here, and she shot the rifle.
Mitch Delacroix, shot to death, and Dawn, arrested and charged with his murder.
Ms. Delacroix, were you arguing with your husband this morning.
No, we didn't argue.
What happened, Miss Delacroix?
It wasn't himself. I swear, it was going to kill me.
Was your husband hurting you? He was going to kill you?
He wasn't my husband. He was an animal.
You heard that right. An animal. Mitch was an animal. But what exactly did Dawn mean by that?
It was a full moon. There was something lurking out there. It was a werewolf. It's a fact.
Are werewolves real?
Of course they're real. It all adds up. Mitch was out. He was always out when it was a full moon. And then this giant animal was lurking on the porch. It was a werewolf. And I have proof.
And what proof was that?
Fur.
That proof would become the key evidence that high-powered attorney Leslie Sapp would use in Dawn's defense.
My name is Leslie Sapp. I'm a defense attorney here in West Hants, but I work all over Nova Scotia.
And you defended Don Delacroix.
I defended Dawn, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
What made you take on Don as a client?
It was a darn good case, wasn't it? A darn good case. Dawn needed someone who believed in her. Someone strong, who's not afraid to punch low if needed.
Did you believe Don?
Of course I believe Dawn. I believe all my clients. I have to. It's called integrity. I couldn't sleep at night without it. Integrity is something that the detective on this case didn't have.
What makes you say that?
They honed in on Dawn right away. They didn't even consider any other suspects or options.
You have issues with how retired Detective Dollhouse handled the case?
Absolutely. I mean, they flubbed it up right from the get-go. He was way out of his league on this. They didn't handle the evidence properly. They didn't even dust the weapon for fingerprints.
Mishandled evidence? Investigative carelessness? These are serious allegations.
Did you and your team mishandle evidence in this case?
No, not a chance. My team and I did everything by the book. There wasn't an ounce of doubt that she had murdered her husband.
But was the rifle dusted for fingerprints?
Listen, Miss Delacroix confessed to killing Mr. Delacroix, and she was holding the weapon she had killed him with. It was cut and dried. We had a weapon, we had a perpetrator, we had a victim. Well, sometimes people just do evil things.
Some say evil lurks everywhere. Even in the peaceful woods, anything is possible. It seemed as though something sinister had come to visit Dawn. And shortly after her arrest, Dawn would stand trial and face a jury of her peers.
Tell me about the trial.
My attorney, Leslie, was amazing. Her support for me never wavered. People were saying I killed my husband. I couldn't hurt Mitch. I loved Mitch. And I didn't hurt him.
Defense attorney Leslie Sapp had her own theories.
Rusty, the neighbor, said he saw her standing over the body with a rifle in her hands.
He said he saw. He said he saw. Yes, well, I'm sorry, but that's called hearsay. That's not fact. DNA is fact. Fingerprints are fact. No fingerprints, no fact. Rusty is a skilled hunter. He could have shot a large animal. He could have shot an endangered species. Or a person.
How many guns were found at the scene?
One. There was only one gun found at the scene when detectives arrived.
Where was the other gun?
Maybe you should ask Rusty.
And she did ask Rusty. During the trial, Rusty's testimony was a key part of Leslie's defense.
Mr. Porter, you say you arrived to Ms. Delacroix's house with your rifle, correct?
Yeah.
And what did you see when you arrived to Ms. Delacroix's house?
I saw Dawn, Ms. Delacroix, standing over the body.
And did Ms. Delacroix have anything in her hands?
Yeah, she was holding a rifle.
Could you see who the body was?
No. Well, I couldn't see who it was. It was dark and the floodlights were shining out toward me, almost blinding me.
What did you do next?
Well, I got called out. I asked if she was okay, if she needed any help.
And what was her response?
She said, I think I killed it.
I think I killed it. And then what did you do?
Well, I went back home, put my rifle away. I didn't need it no more.
So you went back to your home and put your rifle away before returning once again to Ms. Delacroix's house?
Yeah. That's what I did.
The trial was extensive, but the jury deliberated for only an hour. And when the verdict was revealed, Dawn's fate was sealed.
After careful consideration, we, the jury, have reached a unanimous decision regarding the defendant, Dawn Delacroix. On the count of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant not guilty. On the count of killing an endangered species, we find the defendant guilty. In light of the guilty verdict, we, the jury, recommend a 9-month prison sentence.
Guilty of killing an endangered species, but not murder. Leslie Sapp's werewolf defense was believed by the jury. A bizarre outcome to a bizarre situation.
So you don't buy the werewolf story?
At the time, I had to be professional, impartial, but...
Now?
Well, what a bunch of bull. Just baloney. Which is a shame, really. Mitch Delacroix, stand-up, citizen, member of the community, is killed in a horrific way by the one person he's supposed to trust the most. Where is the justice? Where's the justice for Mitch? Where's the justice for the entire community?
She had the jury fooled. They got it all wrong. But again, Dawn had to be the center of attention. And it was all about her, and not the real victim here.
I still can't believe it. I mean, she gets 9 months, and not for killing a man, but for killing an endangered species? It's criminal. Criminal.
She got away with murder.
What's your life like now?
Well, a lot has changed. Prison changes you. I enjoy simpler things now. I used to get caught up in superficial things in life, and now I'm back to basics. I look at things differently. I look at the world differently. And the world looks at me differently.
And one person in particular looks at you differently too, right?
Oh. Rusty. Yeah. He stood by me from the beginning.
All I know is that Rusty and Dawn are together now, and if Mitch was still in the picture, would that be the case?
He's been my rock. He's my hero.
I ain't no hero. I'm just Rusty.
Would you say you're friendly with Dawn?
Yeah, we're friendly, yeah. Yeah, we're friendly, I'd say. I'd say we're very friendly. You know, I'll shoot a hare and bring it over to her, and I know how to skin them, and I know how to cook them, and you know, and I think Dawn, you know, she appreciates that. That's all it is, ma'am. That's all it is.
And what about that proof? Remember that fur? It was the proof that made the jury acquit Dawn of murder. Turns out, she keeps it close. Real close. Tell me about this.
Well, I keep it close. It's a reminder that we all have a dark side. Deep down. But we have to keep a lid on it.
How do you explain the tuft of fur that Dawn had that didn't match any human hair, or it didn't match any animal known in Nova Scotia?
Who knows where she got that? It was all theatrics. Nonsense. She relied specifically on superstitious garbage.
He didn't deserve it.
No.
He was a good man.
If Mitch was here with us today, what would you say to him?
We love him.
Let's get a cold one, buddy.
And so, this once quiet lakeside nook is tranquil no more. Dark truths, myths, and legends that once lurked just below the surface have come right out into the open. Still, neighbors remain polite, as is the way in Nova Scotia. And who knows, perhaps someday, with time, the wounds can heal for this once tight-knit community. For now, friends and family of Mitch Delacroix remember so fondly the man who brought so much joy into their lives. And that's all for this episode. See you next time on the Maricrimes.